my camera just went out, so I'm using the camera in my MacBook, which it's still fine. It's a whole different. There's no gimbal situation, but we're doing a pickup because of Sketch, this movie called Sketch, and I'm gonna do a quick mini review of Sketch. And Eric, you've heard about this movie beforehand. How did you hear about Sketch again?
That was on the Quarter Crew. They had the director on there talking about the effects in there because the girl like draws a picture. So then they have a life. It's okay. This is what the girl's drawing looks like. What would this look like in our world come to life? And then so that's what they were talking about. But it looked like a cool movie, and the fact that this is like one of your top picks for the week.
Yeah.
I was already excited to see it, and now I really want to see it,
Oh, I
which is
can't
weird
wait.
because you mentioned Sketch earlier. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. And then I looked it up, and then as soon as I saw that two-legged kind of fuzzy creature, I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what this is.
So there are monsters in Sketch, and it's not an animated film, but it's a live action film. But you get to see these animals come to, these monsters come to life, and they stand out pretty well. And this is what happens. It centers on this family. They're grieving the loss of the matriarch of the family. So the daughter is, her name's Amber, and what she does, like Eric says, she sketches monsters, different creatures in her sketchbook, and it's her way of processing her mother's loss and dealing with maybe kids she finds annoying at her school or her school bus. There's a kid named Bowman who just consistently annoys her, and he's very good in this movie. He's played by Kalen Cox. Her older brother, Jack, is played by Q Lawrence. And Jack is her older brother, and he's trying to help her out. But she has a short temper. She's very hot tempered right now because the only way she can deal with her grief is through creating monsters and creatures in her sketchbook. And Jack, her older brother, is trying to help things out with her, but he's not being any help at all. She thinks he's meddling in her own business. And that other guy that I mentioned, Bowman, he's just an annoying kid who's on their school bus who probably annoys both Amber and Jack. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling about these three kids is they're the heart and soul of Sketch, and I'll get to the reason why in a second. Ultimately, Tony Hale, you might know him from Arrested Development. He plays their father, Taylor, and Taylor, being a dad, he's dealing with the loss of his wife in not the best way. He takes all of the pictures of his wife, and the mother of his two children. He takes them all of her pictures, and he puts them in the luggage, and he hides them away so they don't have to deal with it. And obviously, that's not a great way of dealing with death. Now, with this story, you're thinking it might be a very downbeat movie. Sketch might be a very downbeat movie, and it's not. It's a very honest movie in the way people deal with grief, and it uses that theme in a weird way, in a very fun way, because these creatures in the sketchbook, they come to life because there's a pond in their house, near their house, that due to some situation can actually, when you throw things in the pond, things can come to life. For example, there's a broken pizza dish that Jack throws. He breaks a dish, and I forget if he throws the pizza plate, the dish into
He
the
eats it and
pond.
then spits it out in the
Yes,
pond.
something like that. Or maybe he's actually realizing there's something powerful about that pond, but ultimately it brought back those pieces together and it becomes a real dish again. And then what happens is when that sketchbook gets actually accidentally falls into the pond and gets wet, because what happens is Jack realizes the pond has special powers, and he decides to bring the ashes of their mother close to the pond, which is pretty dark if you're thinking about it, because he's thinking maybe his
Is
mother.
this starting to get into spoiler territory?
No, it's not spoiler at all.
Uh,
But so that's a big thing, is will he actually put her ashes into that pond and
oh, so that's a setup, and then the
set
the
up?
the question is, are they going to do it or are they not going to do it?
It's a setup to that, but then what happens in the process of him putting his mother's ashes, it's obviously in an urn in his backpack. I think, if I recall, the sketchbook of his sister gets accidentally wet in the pond. And what happens is, from that experience, the creatures start invading their
Yeah.
neighborhood. And that's the rest of Sketch. Okay, it's 92 minutes. A great part of Sketch doesn't deal with all the preachy factors of how to deal with loved ones when you lose them. It's not preachy like that, but a lot of it deals with just pure adventure. You have these three kids trying to make sure that they survive this make up this monster attack, these monsters created by Amber. And it's just like watching maybe the Goonies, when you and I were coming up, Eric, just the fun of watching some great adventure like the Goonies, it reminded me of that movie a lot. And seeing these creatures come to life, it's really fun. They look great on the screen. Obviously, I watch it on my television. It would look a lot better on in theaters. I highly suggest you watch it. My 9-year-old niece Claire, I can't wait to watch it with her because she's going to get some really good life lessons about just family, but then it's just a fun movie to see the havoc that these creatures wreak on the town or the neighborhood. And Tony Hale as their father is really good because he's not a cookie cutter type of an adult. He is also very neurotic and he's he does some very interesting things as well. Darcy Carden co-stars as their aunt, and she's trying to sell the family home as well. So you get a little bit of a family dynamic in Sketch, but the heart of the movie deals with these three kids as they're just blown away by these creatures that are inhabiting the pond area and they're spreading their monster presence within the house and possibly the nearby town. That is the premise of Sketch, and I really loved
So
every scene. Yes.
are you as soon as you explain the pawn and then setting the urn next to the pawn, now I'm really interested. Are you underselling it that, or does the movie underdevelop that idea of the let's bring back like because the idea of bringing back a loved one, the initial I think most people's initial thought is yes, do it. But then maybe the movie explores reasons why you may not want to do that because like you bring it
Right.
back, there's going to be a monkey paw element almost always. Do
Yeah,
they
100.
explore that, or is that just something they kind of hint at?
It's something where a little bit of in the middle, they more than hint at it, but they don't completely delve into explore it because their deal a lot of it deals with the process of trying to get rid of these monsters and survive. So what's great about it is there's all of these things about dealing with your grief or like you said, the monkey paw element of it, which are baked into the story, but it doesn't really completely focus it on it because the second half of the movie just deals with them trying to survive, which is great because it's a
Yeah.
process type of movie and it's very action adventure to
Kind
see
of
how
sounds
this
also a little similar to Onward because Onward had similar vibes.
very
Like
good. Yeah, like
the
Onward.
like the brothers had the bottom half of their dad the whole time, and then
Yes, very good. Did you like Onward?
I did,
I liked
and
Onward as well.
I like the way that it ended, but it had similar themes to that of grief and loss. Like they had their dad there, but not really. And
And
I think the whole point was we got to let him go, that sort of thing.
and for kids too, I think, and possibly adults, it's also very interesting about how do you deal with your own grief? How
Yeah,
do you how do you deal with
and movies like this, like I think people think that oh, it's not for kids, but you never know when someone's gonna die. And then if you can introduce your kids into that kind of concept through something like Onward or from what it sounds like,
sketch?
Sketch,
Yeah.
or any movie where it's like you can nudge them towards that. It's not gonna horrify them or not gonna be too much, but if something were to happen to your mother or
Grandmother or your
yeah,
whatever,
or,
someone you love, basically.
your dog, whatever the high likelihood they're gonna experience a pet dying. That I think whatever little trauma they get from a movie, I think ultimately it'll help them if when and if that comes to meet them head on in real life.
Yeah, and instead of, for example, yeah, Amber uses her sketchbook to escape and to process, and kids can use ultimately, hopefully, employ Sketch not just as a fun movie, but as a reference point, like you were saying. So it's a very weird, not weird, a very good balance and a very rare balance that filmmaker Seth Worley does with Sketch because this is a very fun movie with some serious themes, and it's hard to actually have both occupy that same space. And Sketch does it really well. So my rating for Sketch now playing in theaters, only 92 minutes. Go take your kids. I don't know, Eric, you and I are not fathers, but I don't know what age. Obviously, parents out there or aunts and uncles, you have to be your own judge and jury on what age your kid should be. But My niece, she's 9. I think she's ready to see Sketch. She's seen all the Harry Potter movies, right, Eric? So
Yeah,
she can see
but
Sketch.
also
Star Wars.
this kind of goes with one of the things. Like I would say if they're old enough to sit through a movie, they're probably at a good time to watch something like that. Not something too heavy, obviously, but if it's a light movie and it's got those themes, definitely do that because the protecting your kids is one thing, but sometimes you don't know if you're going to get in a car accident and die, and then they're just going to be blindsided. At least if they got a movie like this to ease them into something like that, or help them make sense, or come up with some feelings about it.
Yep.
There are worse things they could be watching,
100% Eric. So my
such
rating.
as Avengers Endgame. I would definitely prefer something like this, but
Yeah, I can't wait till you see it. I don't know if you have time, but whenever you have time, give Sketch a shot. I think this is a movie that it's right up your alley, Eric Holmes. Hopefully, it'll be right up a lot of people's alley. It's getting really good reviews right now. I'm giving
yeah,
Sketch.
I'm definitely watching this.
Oh yeah, I'm giving yeah, and do a rewind next week. In fact, we have several movies next week. You don't have to watch those several movies. Maybe you would just watch one of them and then put Sketches. What you did this week, which is I think really cool because you gave the value add of Together. Now, my rating for Sketch, 4.5 stars. Currently playing in theaters. Eric's gonna see it when he has time this weekend or maybe early next week. And most
I gotta see
importantly,
if it's playing near me as well. But
yeah,
if it is, I'm definitely going to watch
you're
this
in
one.
you're in a very big city, so I'm sure it'll definitely Sketch will be playing. Here's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait till you get to me. And I don't know, Bruce. I think this is a movie that Bruce Berkey would love if you let him go from the attic as well, Eric Holmes. Yeah, 4.5 stars for Sketch. Now
I'll
playing
let
in
him out of the attic for this.
okay. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.